Well, hey, what's going on? Nick Kirby here. Welcome into a special edition of Chatterbox Reds as we inch closer to opening day. As you're watching or listening to this, we're now just 2 short days away. I know I'm pretty excited for the start of this baseball season. Here at Chatterbox Reds, we have just been so thankful with all of your support over the last couple years. Me and Trace Fowler started this show at the beginning of 2023 with, just little expectations. And you have made this show grow to places that we honestly did not see coming. And it's all thanks to you. And we really, really appreciate that. We have some exciting new additions and changes to Chatterbox Reds this year that I'm excited to share with you. First and foremost, starting on Monday, next Monday, we are going to start Chatterbox Reds pregame shows before every weekday night game. So typically about 4, sometimes 5 shows a week. I have a cast of fellas that I'm really excited to bring onto the Chatterbox platform. They're going to help give you a quick pregame show for every game. Mike Hart, Ricky Logan, Sam Keithley, Alex Wallace, Hunter Hurst, and Max Alonso, 6 diehard Reds fans that each night they're going to give you about a 30-minute pregame show. It'll be an hour before each Reds game. So that'll be on YouTube only, an hour before every weeknight game, the new Chatterbox Reds pregame show. I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited that we have 2 brothers, 2 really awesome brothers, Corey and Eric Phillips, that are going to be helping us out with our Chatterbox Reds post-game shows this year. The Phillips brothers are going to help us out on some of the weekends as the season gets on. They're going to start mostly coming up in about May, covering a lot of the weekends for us to help give myself and Trace Fowler and Craig Sandlin, who helps us out a lot, some breaks throughout the year to hopefully help spend some time with the family, have a little bit better of a work-life balance. But the Phillips brothers, they are a hoot. You guys are going to love them. They are going to bring a little bit of a different flair to Chatterbox Reds. But you know what? Over the course of a 162-game season, I think that is absolutely needed. And as a special treat for today, the Phillips brothers have recorded a special episode previewing the season for the Reds in the only way they know how, covering a little bit of different topics that we haven't covered and honestly haven't covered enough here on Chatterbox Reds. So I'm really excited for you to get to meet the Phillips brothers. I hope you'll throw your full support behind these guys, who I'm just so excited to have them join our team this season. They're also going to do, in the month of April, on the off days for the Reds, they're going to do a little show and podcast and all that kind of stuff that we'll post on the off days. So you will have content every single day throughout the month of April covering the Reds, and we're excited for that. Before we get into the Phillips brothers, their debut here on Chatterbox Reds, as always, this show is proudly sponsored by Deep South Commodities. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Thanks, as always, to our friends at DSC. All right, without further ado, here is Corey and Eric Phillips.
Hey, thank you, Nick. And hello, Reds fans. My name is Eric Phillips. I'm joined by my brother, Corey T. Phillips. And we are very excited to be here with you. We will be your weekend, folks, as we get into the later part of the season. I think we start in May. We'll be your Friday and Saturday morning show, or Saturday and Sunday morning shows following the Friday and Saturday games. But Corey T., welcome to opening week.
Man, I couldn't be more excited, brother. It's talking Reds baseball with you, and excited for some Reds baseball and ready to put some good content out there, man. And couldn't be more excited to see what Terry Francona brings to our lineup this year.
Oh, man, I freaking love Tito already, dude. It's hard not to like it. It's an upgrade over David Bell for sure. My opinions on him last year, had we had this platform, I'm not sure they would have asked us back for this year. But Corey and I are both from Cambridge, Ohio, originally. And Corey actually still resides in beautiful Guernsey County, while I'm coming to you from just north of Cincinnati in Liberty Township. But we're really excited. We've been Reds fans our entire life, and we're super pumped to get the opportunity to kind of build on what everybody here has built at Chatterbox Reds. Today, we're going to give you a little rundown of what it's like to be a fan here at Great American Ballpark and for these 2025 Cincinnati Redlegs. And so today we're going to touch on what's going on with opening day, what's going on this weekend with it now just extending on from just that opening day celebration. What teams and players we're looking forward to coming into GABP throughout the season. We'll go month by month, and we'll also talk about some of our favorite promotions that the Reds marketing team has lined up for us. And so at the end, we'll get ourselves into 2025 season predictions, where Corey and I will dictate, or we'll take a guess on the Reds record, the Reds MVP, our most improved player, the best bullpen arm, which is kind of, you have to put it that way right now because we don't have a closer going into 2025. And so we're going to figure things out there. And then also our most exciting prospect. And if it's not Big Sugar, you're wrong. But Corey, I want to let you I'll let you get going here, man. You want to tell us a little bit about what's going on this Thursday?
Yeah, man, this Thursday, brother, I couldn't be more excited for opening day. 2 sleeps and a wake up, man. We're 2 sleeps and a wake up away from Giants and Reds. 4:10 first pitch. Got Logan Webb versus our Hunter Green. If you haven't been down to the parade, the opening day parade kicks off at noon. If you haven't made your way down that way, please do so. I highly recommend it. Family and I went last year, and we had a really good time. It'll be three-time All-Star and World Series champion, 1988 Rookie of the Year, Chris Sabo will be your grand marshal this year. I couldn't be more excited to see number 17 out there, brother.
Yeah, now seeing 17 definitely brings a smile to your face, and that number's close to us here. And it's 106th opportunity to see this Findlay Market opening day parade. And so if you haven't had a chance, like Corey said, get yourself down there, get down early, bring a blanket, bring a seat to get comfortable. It's a great time, and it's just awesome to see a city come together and really treat it like a holiday that it is, because it's not opening day until they throw that first pitch in Cincinnati. I don't care what Major League Baseball does otherwise. So
it's the best opening day in baseball without question. Also, if you haven't been down to the Reds Community Bank, or the Reds Community Fund is going to do a block party down at the banks starting at 11 o'clock that morning. That's also a really good time, man. Good family fun atmosphere. Definitely highly recommend it. But if you're going to get down to the ballpark, get down there early. If you're down there at 11, you are late. So parking's definitely going to be a little bit chaotic, no doubt.
Yeah, parking will be at a premium. You talk about a family-friendly environment. It is. You do have the designated outdoor recreation area there, where you can take your beers from inside the bar outside and enjoy that turf area. There'll be live music. There'll be a lot of different food vendors and things like that down there. But yeah, the party at the banks is a great time, and the folks over in Newport do it up as well. I know. The guys at Smoke Justice, Hooters, Brothers, all those guys, they're ready for some opening day parties as well. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're down around there, just get out there, have fun, enjoy yourself, and really take it in, because here we go. It's 2025, and your Cincinnati Redlegs have a brand new manager, and his name is Terry Francona. But getting past Thursday, like we said, the opening weekend is now a thing. The Reds take that Friday off, but then we have our kids' opening day on Saturday, the 29th. That game will also start at 4:10. It will still be against the Giants. You'll have the mascots on the red carpet at 11:15. You'll have early access to the ballpark that day, even though with the game at 4:10, like you said, you have the opportunity to enter the ballpark early. There's going to be circus performers, face painters, and some music out there for the kids. Shout out to the Reds Heads Kids Club for putting this, for really developing what Kids Opening Day has become. That's the best $30 you're going to spend. Folks, if you have kids, I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. Corey's kids have aged out of the program, but I know they would go back and buy the jersey again if they could. For $30, you're walking out with a backpack. You're walking out with a jersey. The pens are collectible. You've got $30 worth of coupons at least in there between Graders and Skyline and everybody that sponsors the Reds. And so it's a really cool opportunity to kind of create a young Reds fan. And, if you've got a kid, good luck getting out of the ballpark without buying something. That $30 will be the best $30 you spend all year. And then they've got that opportunity to have a jersey to take home and wear to school and show their Reds fandom. But also on that day, kids under 14 are going to get a free hat sponsored by Hitseeker. And so really excited to see, my boys come out of that game with them. I'll be down at the ballpark. I think Nick's planning on going down there as well. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. Then we get into Sunday and there's going to be a free Reds calendar to those in attendance. And so 3 bangers of giveaways. You got the calendar, you've got the kids hat, you've got the magnetic schedule giveaway, you've got opening day, you've got kids opening day. There's stuff going around Great American Ballpark for this 3-game set to start the season. Couldn't be more excited. And so if you want to, man, let's get into 2025 as a fan, what we're looking forward to seeing.
Honestly, man, 2025 is going to be a really exciting time, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of experience, what kind of camaraderie that Terry Francona brings to this lineup, man. And not only with our major league lineup, also the effect that he's got on our minor league guys too, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what our prospects do and how they shine from having the leadership and having guys to follow that they can look forward to, that sort of thing. So getting into the schedule, man, let's look through month by month, man, and find our favorite matchup here, and maybe find like our favorite promotional giveaway day. Because man, the Reds are doing some really good promotional giveaway days. They're definitely enticing me to the ballpark. That's for sure. So
Absolutely.
getting into it, man. Just looking forward to April. April, we've got 10 home games. We got 15 away games. So what stands out to you there in April, brother?
Well, I mean, starting with 3 home games in March, we're gonna you just heard everything that's going on in March, and so those 3 home games in March kind of offset that. If you call it a first month, March and April together, it's more like 13, 15, but still playing more away from the ballpark than we are at home. But really, what I want to see there in April comes April the 11th through the 13th when the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town. If Paul Skeens is in order to throw against our Cincinnati Reds, it's must see baseball, especially if he gets matched up with a Hunter Green. A Hunter Green Paul Skeens match up there in early April, man, that'll really get the juices going. If we can somehow get a win off of that, cat, I feel like that's a big momentum shift in terms of trying to put ourselves on top of this division. Those pesky Pirates has given us trouble all the way back to the Cueto chance, and so I want to make sure we get out on the right foot against those guys. But really, it's the player and Paul Skeens that he's worth the price of admission on his own, and then you get a chance to see the best player in the world and Ellie De La Cruz, get a chance to match up there.
There it is. And leading right into that, man, my favorite giveaway night, maybe of the year, is actually that weekend. The 13th is going to be Harry Potter night. So
nice.
You have to pre-order the tickets to get your select house shirt, but I think I'm going to try to get on and get my Hufflepuff shirt as quickly as I can. I also look forward to seeing O'Neal Cruz. Watching the O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz matchup is also really exciting baseball. And Brian Reynolds is one of my favorite guys to watch too. I love his approach to the game. So just looking forward to that Pirates matchup, man. It's going to be a big one right there in the first couple weekends of April.
Yeah, and there's actually one other promotion going on at that weekend. It's something that as long as I've been a fan, I've not seen the Reds do it. It's dual bobbleheads with Ellie, and so there's left-handed Ellie, there's right-handed Ellie in terms of being at the plate. They're going to give you a box when you walk in that's got one of those 2 bobbleheads in it, and you don't know which one it is. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be like trick or treat night, man. Kids are going to be busting into those boxes. I got a right, I got a left. Hey, man, I'll trade you for this one. Hey, we got this. Let's swap. That's going to be a lot of fun to see those dual bobbleheads come out. So kudos to the marketing team on that one. I think it's a killer idea. We've got Ellie. Technically, I guess he gets 3 bobbleheads because he's got 2 that night, and then he's got another bobblehead night coming up later in the season.
Yeah, I did see that one. And he's also got a basketball jersey night coming out too. That'll be a fun one to get to. But let's get forward to May, man. Let's looking at May here. We've got what do we got? 13 home games, 15 away games. But the highlight for me, man, that May 14th game, our Pete Rose jersey giveaway night. Anytime you include 14 in it, man, it's definitely going to be a good night at the ballpark.
Yeah, and RIP to Pete, man. This season's going to be a lot about 14, and I hope that Tito's able to kind of touch into that as well. You're going to have the 14 on the jersey every day for the Reds, but on that May 14th, giving out, I think it's first 20,000 in attendance are going to get those jerseys. I might be wrong on that number. They may be giving out more than that, but a lot of times those jersey promotion giveaways are on a first come, first serve basis. So make sure you understand if you're going down there on May the 14th that when the gates open, get there as early as you can to make sure that you secure that. And seeing the pictures online, they do look legit, and kudos to those guys for being able to get that out there. May 14th, the day of celebration for Pete. There's the push around around the Oval Office to try to get Pete into the Hall of Fame. We'll see if that falls on deaf ears or not, but Pete deserves his day. He deserves many more than just May 14th, but we're going to celebrate him all season. But yeah, May 14th is going to be awesome. When it comes to the matchups that month, the Washington Nationals are intriguing to me. You've got Wood, you've got Dylan Cruz. I think that May the 2nd through the 4th with Dylan Cruz coming in is probably the player I'm most looking forward to seeing the Reds play in May. Getting the opportunity to take the boys down and just see this guy that's very, very young. He's a very popular baseball trading card if you're in that market. But coming off of it, this being technically I think his rookie year, it'll be a lot of fun to see Dylan Cruz get out there and show what he's made of. And it's fun to see young talent face young talent. The Ellie versus the Gunnar Henderson a year ago. Now it's Ellie versus Dylan Cruz this year. All those all those matchups, it's awesome to have a stud that goes back the other way. He's young, he's fun, he's got 3 bobbleheads of basketball jersey and probably 3 other promotions coming this year. Our man Ellie gets the chance to match up with all these dudes, and so it's must see baseball when you get 2 young guys in the game that are leading that way. So
Yeah. Speaking of must see baseball, there's one at the end of the month there with Dansby Swanson and the Cubs coming to town, man. And that's always a measuring stick, good measuring stick, man. They're the projected winners of the National League Central. So it'll be we'll have a good 7 weeks of baseball in by then. So it'll be good to see kind of where our team stacks up against the Cubs in that series there at the end of May.
is it weird that Kyle Tucker already feels like a Reds killer and like we barely played him? You know, the couple interleague squad games, you know,
Right.
a couple interleague games with the Astros and stuff. I'm not even sure what his stats were, but like your Ian Haps and all those guys that absolutely
Just Reds killers.
Kyle Tucker just seems like a Reds
Right.
killer. So if we can get out of the gate strong against that guy, that'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
You want to kick it over to June?
Yeah, looking over to June, man. We got 15 home games and 11 away games. So June's definitely going to be a good month to get to the ballpark, man. But I'll be honest with you, I'm really intrigued by this when they're doing a red panda bobblehead night on the 3rd. It's for the Cincinnati Zoo. So it'll be a replica of the Cincinnati Zoo's red panda on a bobblehead. I'm kind of interested in that, man. That'll be a good one to put on the mantle behind me.
Yeah, that is a good one. You know, anything that's kind of out there, a little out of the ordinary from what you would usually get is awesome. I am actually going back to the hat shelf here. They're on Saturday the 28th there in June, their 50th anniversary of the Big Red Machine. Really cool Reds trucker hat with the Big Red Machine patch on the side. Kind of looking forward to maybe snagging a few of those. So really cool promotion for them. When it comes to players, man, he might be the best player in baseball. And when it comes to, you know, the June 23rd to the 25th, when the Yankees come to town, you get the opportunity to see Aaron Judge and Ellie on the same field. That's going to be a lot of fun. Anytime the Yankees are in, they're going to travel well. They're going to be loud. They're going to be obnoxious. But it's going to be really cool to get a chance to see those cats June 23rd through the 25th. And Aaron Judge will be my player to see there as we look ahead to June. And what's funny is one of those nights is a Tuesday. And I don't know if you're familiar with the 3-2-1 special on Tuesday. $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, $1 ice cream. Might be some fun. Yeah, well, yeah, and those Yankee fans get to chirping, and then you give them $3 beers. It could get interesting down there.
Yeah.
So have
get
fun
yourself
with
to the
it.
ballpark.
Yeah, have fun. Be safe. Don't sell your tickets to anybody with a New York zip code.
It'd be kind of weird, man, to see the Yankees kind of looking like us with the beards on the face and the whole 9 yards. That'll be an interesting twist to it for sure. But moving forward to July, man, we got 14 home games in July. We got 11 away games. We've also got the All-Star break sprinkled in there, man. So, but obviously a big matchup coming up at the end of the month. We got the 28th, 29th, 30th. We'll have the Dodgers coming into town, which is always a big matchup. But it'd be interesting to see if one Shohei's on the mound by then. If we get to see that pitching matchup, that would be kind of interesting. But watching Shohei Ohtani at the plate, it's like nothing else, man. So that'll be a tough matchup for sure. But I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's generational talent. I mean, you see it on the mound. We talked about it earlier with Skeens. When you talk about Shohei, you know, that's one of those, you go down to the ballpark, you take your kids, and one of these days they'll look back and say, yeah, I actually went and saw him play. I was there when he did it, and all those things. And so you never know what you're going to get. Hopefully it's a Reds win. Hopefully it's some very, tough baseball. That is the best of the best. That is the bank versus the not the bank. when we talk about, they're say what you will about them, they still develop some talent on the lower levels, but they also go out and spend ungodly amounts of money, and they defer it for $700 million over the next 50 years. And the deferred payments thing is a whole nother show that we can get into in the off season. But when we talk about Shohei and the Dodgers coming into town, there's a cluster of starting pitching there that's also going to be very good. It's going to challenge us. But if you're going to win a World Series, guess what? It's going to have to go through LA at some point in time. So, yeah, excited to see that. From a promotional standpoint, a couple nights before that, it's a kick it back and take it easy. Jimmy Buffett style with Margaritaville.
There you go.
Getting a Hawaiian shirt on. They've got a post-game concert with the Land Sharks playing the hits of Jimmy Buffett. And so you and I, big Dave Matthews fans, go to a lot of shows, love the DMV, love the Ants crowd, love that segment, love the shout out to the folks at Deer Creek. But when it comes to the fandom and the culture and just the natural, you show up, you ain't even gonna like Jimmy Buffett. But when you showed up to a Jimmy Buffett show, you were about to have a good time. Those parrot heads know how to party, man.
Oh,
And
it's a
bringing it
whole
to Great
vibe.
American Ball. Oh, absolutely. It's a vibe. You get the shirt. It's now a red shirt. So go out, have fun with the parrot heads, and there on the 26th, there'll be a blast. And that kind of closes up July as well. So you want to move on to August?
On August, I'll be honest with you, man. August is a really big month. Obviously, headlined by the big show in Bristol on August 2nd. Man, that's gonna be a big time. Be a lot of fans in there. Be a lot of camaraderie, a lot of hoopla around that one for sure.
Yeah, it's weird that it's going to be a home game for us. It's you talk to folks and how'd you become a Reds fan? You look at the Tennessee, Kentucky area. I know we've got a lot of fans in Kentucky. I know we've got a lot in Tennessee, but then back in our time, when we were growing up as kids in the 90s, you had Glavine and those guys coming up through and, they're winning World Series and they're competing all the time. And they were also on TV all the time. That was before the regional sports network. So TBS, the Turner Broadcasting Station, there's a lot of Braves fans down there too. So to land that thing right in the middle, Bristol Motor Speedway, that's going to be awesome when they get a chance to play in there. I think it was Virginia Tech and UT played a football game there in 2016. And it was like 200,000 people. Like, it's an unbelievable amount of people that'll fit in there. Now, the baseball stadium's going to take up a little less room than that, so we'll be down on one end of the track. But really curious just to see the dimensions. I know they're doing some promos in the ballpark to kind of get ready for that as well. I think there's a Mr. Reds race car kind of bobblehead that'll be given out,
Nice.
But all in promotion of that game that's coming up there in August.
Yeah, and August is definitely a big month because we also got Snoop coming to town on August 11th. So
what up, Snoop?
Yep, Snoop with his post-game concert, going to bring his green hat and the whole 9 yards, man. It's going to be a good time afterwards. So definitely get yourself down to the ballpark and check that one out. And then, of course, right into my area of expertise, Jerry Garcia Night's August the 15th. So definitely going to want to swing down and see what Jerry Garcia Night has to offer.
Yeah, by that time, it might be a long, strange trip it's been, but, when we tune in for that one, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Jerry nights are always good. I know the Blue Jackets did a really good job with theirs as well. And you get those really cool jerseys, and it's just a way to tie two pieces of culture together. You love the Reds, you like the Dead. It's a good night to be down there at the ballpark. When it comes to my favorite player, I want to see Ronald Acuna. So right before they go to Bristol, they actually play a Friday night home game here in Cincinnati. And, you get a chance to see Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back. He is MVP caliber, but he doesn't have to be. They literally lost him out of right field and still went on to win a World Series. Or Ozzie Albies and all those dudes. The Braves are stacked. They are very, very good as well. They've always got the pitching. And so it'll be exciting to see Ronald Acuna Jr. come in and then obviously go down and check him out in Bristol as well. But
I want to see if Spencer Strider, if he bounces back, man. Be interesting to see what Strider's got in the tank. He added a curveball to his repertoire in the offseason last year, and then of course got injured or whatever, so we never really got to see it. But that guy's a stud, man. I'm interested to see if he has a bounce back here.
Absolutely. And at that point, you might be talking about two dudes competing for the Cy Young. If things go well for Hunter Green and things go right for Spencer Strider, there's no reason both of those dudes shouldn't be in the running. And you might be looking at some really big matchups, going into the last month and a half of the season between those two teams. But one more promotion that month on top of Snoop, on top of going to the racetrack, there's a really sweet Red City Connect bucket hat coming up on the 16th. I can see my boys rocking those things like you wouldn't believe. It'll become the favorite hat. We'll have to tell them to take it off so they can't go to bed in it, all that kind of stuff. But really sick. If you get a chance, get online, check it out from a premium standpoint. Same way with the jersey, the bucket hat, really legit, really nice. But going to be a lot of fun in the month of August to be around the ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they just announced about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, September is actually going to be a pretty big one. On September 6th, they're going to unveil the Marty Brennaman statue. Going to be Marty sitting behind the microphone outside the stadium, man. Well deserved. He's been doing it for as long as we've been around, man. I can still remember when the Reds weren't on TV on Sundays, we'd sit around and listen to the radio with Dad, and taking as much Marty Brennaman as we could possibly get. Man, it's going to be a good night at the ballpark.
Marty, if this happens to find your ear, man, thank you for everything. Nobody deserves that statue out there more than you do in terms of what you mean to this organization, what you did for the kids there towards the end of the career. Marty's the man. Had the opportunity to meet him a few times, and he's as genuine of a person. Still kind of pesky. He's got a little ornery to him, but he's a great guy. And like you said, he delivered so many memorable calls and things like that. Let me get that on you real quick. This isn't something we talked about beforehand. The Reds are in September. We're playing meaningful baseball. Things are going well. An event happens like the Jay Bruce walk-off to clinch the division. You have to run to Twitter. You have to run to Facebook. You have to run to wherever it is that you go to catch your replays and really soak in a moment like that. Who's the first announcer that you want to hear on the replay? from the Reds. It could be TV, it could be radio. Who's the first announcer you want to hear call a Jay Bruce-esque Ellie De La Cruz walk-off to win the division in September?
John Sadek.
Me too, man. God,
John
I love
Sadek
John.
is so good at what he does, man. I'll
Yes,
tell you what.
absolutely.
I'll tell you what. If you haven't listened to the Jim Day podcast with Sadek and the Cowboy, man, do yourself a solid, man. Sadek is fantastic. He is number one, man. I really enjoy that guy.
And that's not to undercut Tommy Thrall. That's not to undercut Jim Day.
Oh,
That's
not at all.
That's not the Cowboy. That's none of that. I want to see the Cowboy later when it's oh baby, get that ball's out of here. You know, I'll that too. Don't get me wrong, but that first just inject it into my veins. Give me Sadek going absolutely ballistic. He wants to win for the city, and you can feel it in the way that he promotes us.
Oh, absolutely. The that ball had a family call was one that'll ring in my ears for years, man. Yeah,
absolutely. No, it's awesome, man. But when we talk about September and players coming to the ballpark, the Mets, the other team with the big bankroll. You got Juan Soto coming to town. Now, that dude, I believe, is a lightning rod, and I think he can go two ways. I think he can strike that, and the Mets can be the Mets, or he can strike in there, and he can be, oh, man, Juan Soto is the difference, and he can carry the same way he carried the Nationals to a World Series championship. So it'll be really interesting to see, kind of what comes of the Mets and how they kind of come together as a team. You've still got Pete Alonso. You've still got a Diaz on the back end. But, seeing Juan Soto come to town would be a lot of fun. And he comes in, that would be September 5th through the 7th when the Mets are here. And again, those could be very, very pivotal ball games in terms of the National League, maybe even the pennant race, all those things. And so they'll be competing in the East. We'll be in the Central. It could be a wild card situation with the Phillies being good in the East, the Braves being good in the East, us there, that there could be some very meaningful baseball by the time we get to September. And if the Reds are, if we're fortunate enough to have really good Reds baseball, you've got the Mets, you've got the Cubs, and you've got the Pirates all in that month of September that, those could be absolute bangers and really good opportunities to be glued to your television going pitch for pitch. So
absolutely.
Promotion wise, one of my favorites, never actually taken a pup to it, but I've got a pup that I'm trying to train for it, and that's Bark in the Park. The lore is that Marty Brennaman hated that, and so sorry, Marty, for loving this promotion. But Bark in the Park is cool. You get a chance to take your dog down, take in the game. I think you've got a cool. Who was it that did the doorbell?
I think it was Milwaukee, man, when they did the ring chime over the ballpark, and every dog in the park went absolutely crazy, man. It was awesome. I loved it, man.
Yeah, but love the four-legged friends, man. You and I know you've got a couple of Great Danes. I went down the Doodle train, and we've got a mini Bernedoodle, so we're big dog lovers. But yeah, Bark in the Park, get a chance to see two of your favorite things, some four-legged friends and some Reds baseball will be a cool opportunity there on Thursday the 18th. But that kind of wraps up the season. No October baseball is guaranteed. If you want to play in October, you're going to have to earn your way there. So the season actually wraps up on September 28th against the Brewers, and that will be on the road. And so we go with a 6-game set inside the division, or actually our last 12 games of the year are against the NL Central. So we go Cardinals for 3 on the road, Cubs for 4 at home, so that's 7, Pirates for 3 at home, so that's 10. So your last 13 games of the season are all in the division. And so you'll close out with a 3-game set against the Brewers in Milwaukee. Hopefully that means something. Actually, you know what? Hell with that. I hope we close out against the Pirates on for Thursday, the 25th of September, because that gives us an opportunity to go out and celebrate, because we know how things go when you start counting on getting wins in Milwaukee. Things just seem to go haywire on us.
Yeah, but we've proven that in the past.
We also want to remind you that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health. Whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between, it's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay.
But talking meaningful baseball, let's talk about meaningful predictions. You and I, we've had group chats with our dads, with dad's friends. We've been talking. We talk a lot of smack, but you're never held accountable for it. So let's put our necks on the chopping block, and let's figure out what we think is going to happen this year. And so the 5 things we're going to talk about: Reds overall record, our Reds MVP, our most improved player, our best bullpen arm, and the most exciting prospect for the 2025 season. So let's start it off. What do you think the Reds are going to end up?
So this is where my bold prediction of the year comes in, man. I'll be completely honest with you. We haven't had very many 90-win seasons, but I've got us marked down at 90 and what's that make us? 90 and 82, I believe.
90 and 72.
90 and 72. There we go. Embarrassing myself with my math.
And Cambridge, Ohio, boys. I tell you.
You know how that goes. So I honestly, I really honestly believe it's a 90-win season, man. It's definitely a high mark to hit. Don't get me wrong, but looking at last year's stats, it took 89 wins to get in the playoffs. So
if it's a 13-game difference, right? I mean, it's a 13-game difference from a year ago. Does Terry Francona, the health of this team, the upgrades that we've made, and guys like Austin Hayes, the resurgence of Christian Encarnacion Strand, the availability of Matt McClain, is that worth 13 wins? I think you're right. I think you're right there.
I think we've got what it takes, man. I think we're going to be able to push ourselves over the top as long as we can keep our pitching staff healthy. We're really gonna rely on our starting pitching a lot. So if we can keep our starting pitching healthy, solidify the back end of that bullpen a little bit, man, we're gonna make a run here because we can score some runs. We're going to play aggressive on the base paths and that sort of thing. So really looking forward to seeing what we're going to bring this season.
Yeah, and so I've got us at 89 and 73. So I'm right there with you. Cautiously optimistic in terms of like what we've seen so far from Christian Encarnacion Strand and Matt McClain. They seem to have gotten enough baseball under their belt that I don't feel like it's going to be a slow start to the season. I know some folks are going to say it takes time to get acclimated. These are real at bats. It's different when it counts up here. It's going to be chilly in the April months or with some April baseball here in Ohio. And so, how do these guys that are coming back from injury respond? But like you said, the starting pitching is where it's at. And it's not just the first five. It's the Wade Miley coming along. It's the Andrew Abbott coming along. It's the Chase Burns. It's the Chase Petty. It's the Rhett Louders. I mean, there is so much depth there that there are names that you would feel confident going out and taking the ball for you, that as we get towards later in the season, if things break the right way and you stay healthy, great. Now let's use this arsenal and build up a great bullpen. Let's start, moving some things around. And I'm not sure that Francona is the roll the dice out there and just see where it comes up to that David Bell was. I think he's willing to take a few chances. I think he's willing to make guys uncomfortable in order for the betterment of the team. When you look back and look at the things that he did with like Andrew Miller during the World Series run in Cleveland, a lot of those things are putting guys in spots that other managers wouldn't. He thinks outside the box. And so if that means a Carson Spires does really well to start the year, makes it to the All-Star break, has decent numbers, but here comes Wade Miley and it makes more sense to have a Carson Spires in the bullpen, pull the trigger, man. Send him out there. Let him be a setup man. Hell, let him be the closer if he's got that kind of fire and he's got that kind of opportunity. Find a way to get your elite arms in the rotation. If you can't find them in the rotation, get them in the bullpen. And let's flex this pitching depth a little bit because it is there. And then we just got to figure out how to get 27 outs a night. And then I think a lot of those are going to come from that starting five, even though that starting five may look a little different as the year goes on. So moving on, we talk Reds MVP. So with that, if you're going to win 89 games, you're going to win 90 games, you got to have a stud. Who's your stud?
My stud this year, we obviously know what we're going to get out of Ellie. We know we're going to get out of Matt McClain, but I really think the Reds MVP this year, if we're going to get to 90 wins and we're going to make the playoffs, it's going to be Austin Hayes. Austin Hayes has the chance to be the most protected hitter in baseball, with McClain being in front of him, Ellie being in front of him, CES being behind him. You've got Jamer being behind him. If we can get the offensive production out of CES and Jamer, like we're hoping we will, he could be the most protected hitter in all of baseball. And I really look for him to drive in 90 runs. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. I mean, he uses all sides of the field. Isn't afraid to put a double in the right field gap. So get the runners moving. With Ellie and Matt being on in front of him, you got fastball hitters behind him. I look for Austin Hayes to be our MVP, man, and have a really big year.
Yeah, and I think you're right in the opportunity that Austin Hayes is going to have afforded to him. Hitting behind Ellie and Matt is going to be awesome. I think when we talk, it's weird. We say MVP. Who's the most important to the Reds' success? Like who do we look at right now and say, without them, we're not going to get to 90 wins? And I think it starts for me. It's the source of do we have a good outfielder? If we do, it's the leadoff guy. He's playing center field, and it's TJ Friedl. TJ Friedl has to be one of the most valuable guys, if not the most valuable guy on this roster, because he's got to set the table. If he can't do it, then we're counting on Matt McClain to do it. Ellie's still going to be in the 3-hole, and then you're searching for a 2-hitter. It's one of those things that somebody has to get on ahead of Ellie in order to make Ellie impactful. Otherwise, you've got Joey Votto 2.0. where
Right.
dudes just don't get on in front of him, and we absolutely waste the prime of a guy's career as he's out there mashing balls and hitting solo shots instead of 2 and 3 run dingers. I love the opportunity for Ellie to win the actual MVP when we talk about overall and your betting odds and things like that. But when it comes to this team, I think the most important and most valuable player is having a center fielder, having a leadoff hitter, because if TJ Friedel can't do it, it creates a lot more gaps and questions that I'm not sure we have an answer for currently at the major league level. So
right, and then just looking at our roster as a whole, the corners of the outfield and the corners of the infield are our biggest question marks / wild cards. We got 2 big question marks definitely in the corner outfielders, but I really feel like our 2 wild cards are Jamer Candelario and CES. If you can get the offensive production out of Jamer Candelario from a couple seasons ago, that can really make the difference. It can really be the glue right there in the middle of your lineup, start driving in runs, that sort of thing. So even if we do have a little bit of struggles in the beginning of the lineup, that sort of thing, if you can start getting some of the power back from CES and start getting some of the power back from Jamer Candelario, I really think that might be what makes the difference, man. Those are my 2 wild cards anyway, the corner infielders.
yeah, and then in those corner infielders, that takes me into the most improved. It doesn't get much worse than what CES put out there last year. Now, injury hampered that. He gets hurt early and he misses a ton of games. He misses, most of the season. From a most improved standpoint, the way his whiff rate was and what he does at the plate, if his approach is contact and then the contact is powerful, things are going to happen. Dudes are going to be on. Austin Hayes, Ellie, Matt, TJ Friedel. If those dudes can get to third base and CES is able to deliver in that 5-hole, that 6-hole, or if he's able to jumpstart when Austin Hayes leads off an inning and he's able to hit some bombs, if he's up at the plate, he's going to have that opportunity right behind Austin Hayes in terms of how much opportunity is going to be there with runners in scoring position. And at the end of the day, if you don't hit with runners in scoring position, we're not going to win ball games. I mean, that's the got a bunch of dudes on and left them stranded. It's going to be up to Austin Hayes. It's going to be up to CES. It's going to be up to Jamer in order to get these dudes in and around. And I think from a most improved standpoint, give me Christian, Encarnacion, Strand. And not just at the plate. I think he's going to be a very, very good defensive first baseman to the point that he is the everyday guy, not just because his bat is there, but also because he's the best defensive option that we've got there.
I like that. I actually, I had a different name wrote down, man. I'm going to change mine up on the fly. I think our most improved, man, looking at what he did in the spring training and that sort of Nick Lodolo. If Nick Lodolo is going to be a stud, man, I really honestly think he's going to solidify himself in that number 2 spot. There's kind of questions about whether or not he should be in that number 2 spot in the rotation, but I do kind of like giving him that vote of confidence, man. He can be our solid right behind Hunter Green, and if we can get a solid performance out of him, coming off what is our ace, man, that's really going to help. So I look for Nick Lodolo to make a big jump this year, man. Strikeout numbers to go up, and hopefully he can stay healthy and not have to go through the struggles that we went through last year.
And man, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if you get to the playoffs and it goes Hunter and Lodolo, it doesn't matter what team you're up against. Lodolo might be your number 1 if it's a team full of left-handed batters. And then you want to flip them over to a different lineup. Like Lodolo has the stuff to be the ace of the staff.
Oh, absolutely.
He's right up there with Hunter in terms of stuff. And so when you get to the playoffs and it's about matchups, if you run into a heavy left-handed team and Nick Lodolo can be your game 1 and game 4, oh man, get me excited. Yeah, love to see Nick Lodolo bounce back. And it's weird because it's not necessarily a bounce back. It's just live up to the expectations that we've had for you all along, man. Like we just want you to, be worth that draft pick and get rid of that freaking blister. Somebody get this guy give him some hand cream, give him something.
Whatever we got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. God, take my finger. Nick, you can have my finger.
Ain't that true? I actually had Jamer written down for the most improved because that's who I want to see be the most improved. Be worth the paycheck. You're our highest paid. You're our highest paid player. Go earn that paycheck, man. I'm kind of tired of getting paying for mediocrity. So I would love to see Jamer be the most improved. To be completely honest with you, but I honestly think it might be Nick Lodolo, man. He's just got a little bit of swag coming out of spring training, and I like the way the ball's coming out of his hand.
Yeah, and with Jamer, I mean, do you have Brandon Drury or do you have Mike Moustakas, who? Mike Moustakas, if you're listening, man, you might Friday or Saturdays and Sundays throughout the season aren't going to be the podcast for you, my dude. Your name will come up in vain quite a bit. So, but no, we're very excited about what's coming on. But
give me your best bullpen arm, man. This bullpen's definitely been a hot topic. Who's your best arm coming out of your bullpen?
The oldest 27-year-old I've ever seen, and Tony Santillan is our best bullpen arm. I think there is an electricity to him. It puts me back in the Francisco Cordero days. Now, the results may not have been there for the big guy, but with Tony Santillan, he's got that little bit of a belly. But my God, if you would have told me he was 40, I'd have believed you. He is one of the oldest looking 27-year-olds. He was drafted in the second round. So we spent some capital on him. But when we talk about Tony Santillan, if he is able to deliver, he's a couple years removed from injury. He's worked his way back. He was a solid bullpen arm before leaving and actually got some starting time as well. But it'll be really interesting to see what Tony Santillan can be with Alexis Diaz being out to start the season, whether that's a hamstring or whether that's playing the IL to avoid hurting a guy's feelings because he performed like hell in spring training. Really excited to see what Tony Santillan could be when it comes to emotions. I think him and Tito line up together. I think he wants the ball in the big spot. I think he's got he throws the ball hard enough. His ball's got enough movement. I trust him to throw strikes more than most of the others. I know Emilio Pagan is probably who they lean on early on just because he's got significant closing experience, but best bullpen arm, give me Tony Santillan, whether that's the Andrew Miller setup role or as the actual closer in the absence of Alexis Diaz.
Absolutely. And I definitely agree with you there. He's definitely got some gas coming out of the bullpen, but for my money, man, and another bold prediction, I guess, Taylor Rogers. I really think Taylor Rogers might be able to weasel his way in. No, I shouldn't say weasel his way, work his way into the closer role. The guy's got good stuff. He leans on the two pitches. Don't get me wrong. So he's not a lot in the repertoire, but those two pitches are nasty, man. He's got a 14 mile an hour. He's got a 14 mile an hour difference though between the sinker and the off speed pitch. So I really think Taylor Rogers might be our best arm coming out of the bullpen. I really liked what I've seen out of him so far.
Well, and give me a sinker ball pitcher in Great American Ballpark with the game on the line. You know what I mean? Give me the guy that's going to keep the ball in the yard. Don't walk dudes. Keep the ball in the yard. Get it out there because I think defensively we're going to be a lot better than we were a year ago. We've got an actual pulse in left field, and then you've got TJ if he stays healthy. I think Encarnacion Strand plays well. Third base, we'll see. If it's Espinal, and hopefully Taylor Rogers is playing with Santiago Espinal as a third baseman because it's a defensive replacement. Ellie, Matt, you've got a legitimate defense in there. So yeah, I love the Rogers pick. Lastly, we've talked a little bit about the pipeline, but let's talk a little bit more as who are you most excited? If you're going to go buy a ticket when you hear that so-and-so is coming up, who's it going to be?
I'll be honest with you, man. I thought about this one a lot, and it's Alfredo Duno. No respect to Alfredo Simon, but he's the new big pasta. I like this kid, man. I really think he can develop into something. I really like his game management behind the plate. With the offense, if he can sharpen his offensive skills a little bit, spending some time in big league camp and spring training around guys like Jose Trevino, guys like Tyler Stevenson, he's going to be able to pick up on some of that, man. And that's kind of where the Terry Francona effect comes into it too. I'd like to see what he can do for guys like Alfredo Duno. It'll be a little while until we see him with the big league club. Don't get me wrong, but he's got me pretty excited, man.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you've got a Jose Trevino contract that comes kind of out of nowhere. They extend him for 2 years, and you wonder what's that relationship like and how's that development help? Is it a 2-year plan for Alfredo Duno? And once the Trevino deal expires, is that your next play? Is it something that Trevino's a great coach? I love the opportunity to, kind of put a guy there, the guy to build up the guy. So yeah, awesome opportunity there. But to me, we're two big guys, man. It's got to be Big Sugar. Zach Maxwell, I'm going to tell you right now, that thumb down at the end of the prospect showdown out there and during spring training, that thumbs down that he gave those dudes after closing out in a big spot, he's got gas. I think he's 6'8". He's going to be in the Reds bullpen at some point in time this season, just because I think he's going to press the envelope. It's not going to be because poor performance at the major league level. It's going to be because of his dominant performance at the minor league level. I hope he gets a chance to start in AAA. When do the guys in Louisville and Dayton and those guys open up?
The guys in Louisville actually open up on that Friday. So the Reds have that off day on Friday for the opening weekend. Louisville actually opens up that weekend with Memphis, I believe. Yes, the Memphis Redbirds. So first pitch is 7:10 on that Friday. So if you don't have anything going on after opening day, man, get yourself down to Louisville Slugger Park down in Louisville, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, there you go. I know Big Blue Nation will probably be flocking to Indianapolis for their Sweet 16 matchup. But, if you're a Cardinal and you're still licking wounds, get over to the ballpark, man. The Birds are in town. What about Dayton? When does Dayton? I know. Well, actually, Dayton plays tonight. They got the Reds at Day Air Ballpark. Which
they got the prospect game going on, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think it's actually the Reds' last exhibition playing against the Dayton Dragons, but yeah, they're going to get the
Oh, is that what
opportunity
it
to
is?
see those guys. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
obviously a sellout. If you don't have tickets yet, I don't plan on getting them, but hopefully Nick and those guys will be able to recap that as the actual last spring training game before we get a chance to see the boys on Thursday. So, but yeah, what about Dayton season? When does Dayton season come into play?
Oh, let me see. Dayton opens up April 4th. They actually open up on the road at Western Michigan, man. So they're opening up on the road, as well as the Lookouts. Lookouts are on the road too, against one of my favorite minor league baseball team names, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. So they'll open up on the road April 4th, man, and then the Tortugas will actually open up April 4th as well, but they're going to be at home against Bradenton. So if you're down in the Daytona area, catch you some high A baseball, man. It's a good time for sure.
Right on. No, that's exciting. And so as we're going to close out our show here. It's opening week. We're here. We've made it. What was the line? It's 2 sleeps and a wake up, and we're there.
2 sleeps and a wake up.
There we go. And so, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys have a great day today. That's going to do it for Corey and I's inaugural run here on Chatterbox Reds. We appreciate Nick and Trace and the opportunity here to join the team. Again, you're going to see a little bit more of us during the off days in April, and then on the weekend starting in May will be your Saturday and Sunday morning. So whether you're out doing the lawn or nursing a hangover, whatever it may be on those weekend days throughout the summer, it'll be these 2 big uglies coming at you. So we're really excited to join the season, and we want to give a quick shout out to the guy that made Corey and I the Reds fans that we are today, and happy birthday to our dad, Tom Phillips. He's going to be old as dirt actually on opening day on the 27th. So when you see him out and about, if you're in Guernsey County, make sure you tell Tom Phillips happy birthday on Thursday, and when we love you, Dad. But we'll touch base with you again, like I said, on those off days in April. And we're really looking forward to getting things going here with Chatterbox Reds, and we're really excited to be a part of the team and looking forward to a great 2020-25 season. Corey T, you got anything?
As always, go Reds.